All right. So, thank you for coming and welcome to our edition of Abolitionists yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Good evening. Welcome to WBLAK Radio, coming to you live from our remote broadcast at City Hall. We have a great This has been an active evening. A lot has gone on that is rehashing the Republic. We are going to a live shoot to Thaddeus Stevens, Republican congressional representative from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He is appearing before the House of Representatives. The year is 1867. We go live. He is in mid-speech.
The second section I consider the most important in the article. It fixes the basis of representation in Congress. If any state shall exclude any of her adult male citizens from the elective franchise or abridge that right, she shall forfeit her right to representation in the same proportion. The effect of this provision will be either to compel the states to grant universal suffrage or to shear them of their power as to keep them forever in a hopeless minority in a national government, both legislative and executive. If they do not enfranchise the freedmen, it will give to the rebel states but 37 representatives, thus short of their power. They would soon become vindictive. Southern pride would not long brook a hopeless minority. True, it will take 2, 3, possibly 5 years before they conquer their prejudices sufficiently to allow their late slaves to become their equals at the polls. That short delay would not be injurious. In the meantime, the freedmen will become more enlightened and more fit to discharge the high duties of their new condition. In that time, too, the loyal Congress could mature their laws and so amend the Constitution as to secure the rights of every human being and render disunion impossible. Heaven forbid that the southern states or any one of them should be represented on this floor until such monuments of freedom are built high and firm. Against our will, they have been absent for 4 bloody years. Against our will, they must not come back until we are ready to receive them. Do not tell them that they are loyal representatives waiting for admissions until their states are loyal, that they can no longer stand here. They would merely misrepresent their constituents.
Powerful words from the representative from Pennsylvania. We have more breaking news. We have a live shoot of Fannie Lou Hamer, the founder of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. She is appearing on national television from the Credentials hearing in Atlantic City, New Jersey. She has begun her testimony in front of the committee, trying to register the party to be on the Democratic ballot.
I was carried to the county jail and put in the booking room. They left some of the people in the booking room and began to place us in cells. I was placed in a cell with a young woman called Miss Yvesta Simpson. After I was placed in the cell, I began to hear sounds of licks and screams. I could hear the sounds of licks and horrible screams. And I could hear somebody say, "Can you say yes, sir, nigger? Can you say yes, sir?" And they would say other horrible names. She would say, "Yes, I can say yes, sir." So we'll say it. She said, "I don't know you well enough." They beat her. I don't know for how long. And after a while, she began to pray and ask God to have mercy on those people. And it wasn't too long before 3 white men came to my cell. One of these men was a state highway patrolman, and he asked me where I was from. I told him Rouville. He said, we're going to check this. And they left my cell, and it wasn't too long before they came back. He said, you are from Rouville, all right? And he used a curse word. And he said, we're going to make you wish you were dead. I was carried out of that cell into another cell where they had 2 Negro prisoners. The state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro to take the blackjack. The first Negro prisoner ordered me, by orders from the state highway patrolman, for me to lay down on a bunk bed on my face. I laid on my face. The first Negro began to beat me. And I was beat by the first Negro until he was exhausted. I was holding my hands behind me at the time on my left side because I suffered from polio when I was 6 years old. After the first Negro beat me until he was exhausted, the state highway patrolman ordered the second Negro to take the blackjack. The second Negro began to beat, and I began to work my feet. And the state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro who had beat me to sit on my feet, to keep me from working my feet. I began to scream, and one white man got up and began to beat me in my head and told me to hush. One white man, my dress had worked up high. He walked over and pulled my dress. I pulled my dress down, he pulled my dress back up. I was in jail when Medgar Evers was murdered. All of this on the account of we want to register to become first-class citizens. And if the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party is not seated now, I question America. Is this America? The land of the free and the home of the brave, where we have to sleep with our telephones off the hooks because our lives are being threatened daily, because we want to live as decent human beings in America? Thank you.
What do you say after that testimony? It may be appropriate that we are going to Reverend Jesse Jackson. We go live to the scene at the Democratic National Convention. The year is 1984. The location is San Francisco. We go to Reverend Jackson.
Tonight we come together, bound by faith in our mighty God, with genuine respect and love for our country, in inheriting the legacy of a great party, the Democrat Party, which is the best hope for redirecting our nation in a more humane, just, and peaceful course. This is not a perfect party. We are not a perfect people. Yet we're called to a perfect mission. Our mission to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to house the homeless, and to teach the illiterate, to provide jobs for the jobless, and to choose the human race over the nuclear race. We have gathered here this week to nominate a candidate and adopt a platform which we will expand, unify, direct, and inspire our party and the nation to fulfill this mission. My constituency is the desperate, the damned, the disheartened, the disrespected, and the despised. They are restless and seek relief. They voted in record numbers. They have invested faith, hope, and trust that they have in us. The Democrat Party must send a signal that we care. I pledge my best to not let them down. There is a call of conscience, redemption, expansion, healing, and unity. Leadership must heed to the call of conscience, redemption, expansion, healing, and unity, for they are the key to achieving our mission. Time is neutral and does not change things. With courage and attentive leaders can change things. No generation can choose the age or the circumstance in which it is born in, but through leadership it can choose to make the age in which it is born in an age of enlightenment, an age of jobs and peace and justice. Only leadership, that intangible combination of gifts, the discipline, information, circumstance, courage, timing, will, and divine inspiration, can lead us out of the crisis in which we find ourselves. The leadership can mitigate the misery of our nation. Leadership can part the waters and lead our nation into the direction of the promised land. Leadership can lift the boats stuck at the bottom.
Okay, I feel better about this. This is our moment. It gets better. We are not taking this lane down. A new generation of leaders is emerging. Let's go live to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
This is a coordinated activity happening across this nation, and so we are in a state of emergency. Black people are dying in a state of emergency. We cannot look at this as an isolated incident. The reason buildings are burning are not just for our brother George Floyd. They're burning down because people here in Minnesota are saying to people in New York, to people in California, to people in Memphis, to people across this nation, enough is enough. We are not responsible for the mental illness that has been afflicted upon our people by the American government, institutions, and those people who are in positions of power. I don't give a damn if they burn down. I don't give a damn if they burn down Target, because Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve. Where was AutoZone at the time when Philando Castile was shot in a car, which is what they actually represent? So if you're not coming to the people's defense, then do not challenge us when young people and other people who are frustrated and instigated by the people you pay. You are paying instigators to be among our people out there throwing rocks, breaking windows, and burning down buildings. And so young people are responding to that. They are enraged, and there's an easy way to stop it. Arrest the cops, charge all the cops, not just some of them, not just here in Minneapolis. Charge them in every city across America where our people are being murdered. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired. Don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted Black people. America looted the Native Americans when they first came here. So looting is what you do. We learned it from you. We learned violence from you. So if you want us to do better, then damn it, you do better.
Ooh, I heard that. We have to do better. To the audience, what do you think?
And that's what it is. This is going to begin the discussion for you guys, because you're going to talk to us. You guys are going to let us know what you think, because this is not going to be a one-way thing where we tell you and you receive. We need to learn and hear from you guys, because you're the populace, you're the constituents, you're the voters, you're the people who will be demanding change. And we want to hear from you guys. So I got a couple of questions. So it's nothing too hard. It's nothing too, you know what I mean? It's real PG-13. All right. I'm going to start with something about Thaddeus Stevens. All right. Representative Thaddeus Stevens of Pennsylvania was one of the most powerful voices in Congress during Reconstruction. As a leader of the radical Republicans, he used his political influence, sharp debating skills, and relentless determination to secure the votes needed to pass the 14th Amendment, which guaranteed citizenships and equal protection under the law to all people born or naturalized in the United States, including formerly enslaved Black Americans. Stevens fought for this amendment even when members of his own party hesitated. Andrew Johnson opposed Reconstruction, and when the country was deeply divided, he believed that without a congressional guarantee of equality, the sacrifices of the Civil War would mean nothing. All right? So you got to get this in the context. This is the white man, came in, across the country, pulling all these people together to pass the 14th Amendment, which didn't guarantee him citizen or his people, but guaranteed people born in America citizens. And the reason was because it was like millions of black people that were here, born here, because of slavery, and they couldn't, there was no place for them to go to leave. All right? So here's the question. Thaddeus Stevens used his position of power to fight for people who had no political voice of their own. In your opinion, what does it mean to be a true ally? Someone who uses their privilege, platform, treasures, or influence to fight for justice for others. And the other part is, can you think of a leader, teacher, artist, or person in your community today who plays a similar role? So the first part is, what does it mean to be a true ally? Someone who uses their privilege, platform, treasures, or influence to fight for justice for others. That's you guys. We did our part. The little people can answer if you got to answer. If you want to say something.
I'm just thinking.
Okay, go ahead, keep thinking. I see something going on over there. I knew something was going. When you get ready, you can answer.
Well, I have a statement because you talked about how the gentleman was going around to get that right for people who were born here. They're trying to do that today.
They're taking it today.
They're trying to take it away. Right. But I mean, like today, they're trying to take away our citizenship. But the way they're trying to go about it is identifying who was actually born here from the history or generation. So when I'm comparing it to that, that's the comparison that I'm making. I can't really point to anybody today. I mean, as ally, I know there's a lot of people, that try to help and support us as a people, immigrants, brown people. I can't pick out a person off the top of my head.
Anybody else? Okay.
I want to identify with the fact that you said a true ally, because there are individuals that will, they want citizens in the United States. They want us to become citizens. They want black and brown people to become citizens, but it's not a true citizenship. It's because they need our votes. They need us to perform tasks. And in order for us to do those things, we have to be citizens of the United States. So someone that's true and want that for the black and brown people and the indigenous people, because of the sheer nature of, first of all, being born in America and also being a human. So for our human rights, I can respect that. So when it comes to our human rights, we do have in our political parties now individuals that they may not be people. There are people of color, and then as you say, I really can't think of those that are not. But I'm kind of happy that the parties now that the way that the voting is going, that more black and brown people are voting, and they are putting people that can be a true ally in place. So I just want it to be where if it's happening and it's a true ally, that is for the right reasons, because for our freedom, because we're human beings, not because you need our vote to get you in office so that you can continue to depress and repress black and brown people like that.
We talked about this earlier about authenticity in leadership. Leaders who have authentic behaviors, who demonstrate authenticity. There's some people up here on this table that represent authenticity that we want them to talk about what they have done in this community. We have leaders at this table and we want them to share, and they'll get their time. But one of the things that we want from you guys is to find somebody that you think of who could be that leader we didn't get not one person who could think of anybody that's a true ally.
But see, so the thing is, there are, you have everyday allies, right? Who are out there in the groundwork, and just because you don't see me out there, my face is not out there, doesn't mean I'm not doing the groundwork. We have plenty of people talk about what they're doing for us, but then behind the scenes, they might, your voice is muffled, right? So I'd rather know folks who are on the groundwork, the folks that are fighting against the gerrymandering, right?
Mhm.
You wiped out a whole district in Tennessee, a whole county, just because you want to dilute the black vote. Well, it's not to say, as soon as some of those people, what they say, who was it, Lyndon B. Johnson said, when you convince the poorest white folk that is better than a colored person or a black person, then they'll never see it. They don't
Yeah.
realize if they're voting against their best interest because they think they're hurting us, that it's gonna hurt them also, right? So the true allies are the ones that don't have time to do all the interviews, or at their local state houses, doing stuff in their local government, right? Because a lot of times you can start with the small stuff to let it work up to the bigger stuff.
Right. You got something? You look like you want to say something now.
Yeah, I
Go
do.
ahead.
So, a whole bunch of times that people that have like different skin colors, they were like mistreated, and some like treated differently. How they act, seen by, and how they looked by. But those are all judged by, and those are life lessons. And many life lessons has important things that people didn't know to this day.
That's true. Thank you. I'm gonna ask another piece of. Okay. Somebody want to say something? No. Now, with the people here, what can you do with whatever platform or influence you have, even if it's small, push for something that is right? Whatever it is that you consider to be right. We don't have a non-judgment zone, so whatever you feel is something that is of your thinking that it's right, and how would you do that? And what would you do? What platform would you do? What answer my what? What would you want to do if you had the chance to do something that was to push for something that is right?
Well,
What-
I would like to say you asked many questions in that one little thing, but I would say if my part could be, if I'm sitting with a group of coworkers or a group of friends, to speak up for unrighteousness, because when you sit among a group of people and you just sit quietly, when you know that it's injustice or saying something wrong or treating someone a certain kind of way, and you don't say anything,
Right.
you're equally a part of it. So my part would be to speak up, to say something. And that's a little thing, but that's a powerful thing that, we as a people will not sit around and not say anything about things that aren't right.
That's a good one. Does anybody else want to add or come up with their own thing that they would like to push? This opportunity to speak, it's not like you have to, but we encourage you strongly. All right, so we're going to go to another question then.
I'd just like to say, what we just did today, this is the starting point, and I think this is a beautiful reference because it's not any particular timeline. It's very craftily sewn in yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And the same things we talked about yesterday pertain to us today. What are we going to do to change it for tomorrow? Because are we going to continue to have this conversation about, didn't we just talk about that 400 years ago, 200 years ago? How come that still applies today? Outwardly, how come that still applies to us today? I think that's where it needs to stop. And inwardly, why is that? As a people, why is that?
But also,
That's when we have to start breaking down systemically why that is as a people, because I say outside to stop outside, because outside is never going to feed you what they already know about you. Your truth has been disconnected for a reason. Your lineage has been disjointed for a reason. And one can't go and follow and pick up where they don't know they left off. So I say that because this is an educational component. We're talking from Thaddeus. Now we've got Miss Fannie Lou, who's in Alabama Jam. I just realized what she actually done. And what she's saying is, to the right and to the left, you both talk really good game. And one of you is a little bit softer than the other. But at this point in time, me and my people are a little bit tired of being lied to and played with, right? Taken advantage of. Where you can vote if you do these 5 things, and then you promised me 10 things and you got nothing. So she was done with the gaslighting. And she wanted to do at that point is register something that was literally for the people. And I think that brings us to where we are today. I think we're all a little tired of the games that have been played in today's politics. I think we've all begrudgingly gone to the ballot post on a head hanging a little low because the pickings was slim, okay? We weren't super excited about what we had to choose from, but we did what we considered to be the best thing at the time. But at the end of the day, we're coming right back to Fannie and Hammer saying, wait a minute, it's a little raggy on the right and on the left. Who's here for the people? I'm a free agent. I'm a free agent. I'm not overly concerned about red and blue. I could be purple tomorrow if you're going to do something for the people. Right?
And that's usually how we vote, right? 92%. Black women, as a whole, we vote, we vote for everyone, but we think it's gonna be the best for everyone.
Holistically, yeah.
Holistic, right?
Yeah.
Even though it even almost to a fault, right? Because we saw last year after the election, 300,000 black women lost their jobs.
Oh yeah, immediately.
You know?
I want to pick up something that you said concerning education. I want us to see and go back to the history. Start with our foundation, more than 500 years.
Yes.
Let's go back
All the way.
all the way.
That's the only way that you
Not
can get
this
to the bottom. And thank
recent
you.
history.
That's cracking
That's
because
that is
then
cold.
thank you. Because then we continue to do, hey, wasn't that, when we talk about that same thing 200 years, 400 years, 500 years? Yes, because you
It's
have to go
even
back to
more
the
than
beginning.
that. Let's talk
You
about
have to go all the way
thousands.
back to the motherland before we were infiltrated. And for the indigenous, I'm African, yes, because African people, black people are the original people. We all know this, yes? But we left Africa a long time ago. So no, all of us did not come here to this land on ships. And we shouldn't be put on a beat post for claiming that, because all of our other black Americans will say, oh, you're trying not to be black. I can never try not to be black. I am black. The indigenous natives that were here were also what, guys? Black. So we have to, again, that goes to the education, and I'm so glad that he said that, because we have to go all the way back before the Mayflower and the ships and all those things, and realize who we were as a people, but also know who we were as a people here on this land. So yes, it goes way back before 400 to 500 years ago, because that was the engine in which slavery was starting to build momentum. But we'll be a long, long way before.
I wanted to answer your question about what is it that I would do, and the things that I do, and things that I would like everyone. But I think one of the things that's happening now is there's just too many people in the back. Folks need to come up front, make themselves known, need to be seen. That's what's going on right now. We don't know who's who.
Yeah.
You know, you could be for us, you could be against us, but we don't know because everybody's all in the back. But, you know, I like to step up. I want to be seen. I want to be heard, because that's the only way that I can represent anyone. And even represent myself. I always start out by representing myself, you know, because I want freedom. So, in order that I want freedom, I need other people to help me to be free. And that's what I do. I want everybody to, you know, we each one to help one to be free and to teach one to be free. I think freedom, but if you're hiding out in the background and you don't want anybody to know where you stand, then we have a problem. Because and one of the things that I try to advocate for is, you know, for people to come and to be engaged and to, as you say, it doesn't matter where you stand, but as long as you stand for something and let people know what it is that you stand for. You know, don't hide it. We got too much hiding going on, I think. So we don't know what to do because we don't know who to do or what to, how, or anything, because everyone wants to sit in the back. No one wants to come forward. So I would come forward.
Right.
That's what I
That's what you.
Be more present and don't be afraid to be a disruptor, I hear from you.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be a disruptor, which ties right back into her not being a part of the problem, because silence is one of the most deadliest things we can ever do. The other most deadliest thing for us to do, and we continue to do on a regular basis, because we were are still in survival, is code switching. This gives non-black people, non-colored and brown people, an opportunity to categorize what is black, what is acceptable black, and what is not. But we all know and understand that in this space and in this room, we're all one. You see what I'm saying? So when your vernacular starts to switch up and change up to a fault where you're almost bleaching your existence just so that you can be a part of this thing, you're doing two things. You're killing the opportunity to create and interject your magic into that space. And you're also allowing, again, for the stereotypical, appropriate, or acceptable black to have a model. When we are free, back to what she was saying, when you allow yourself to actually just be free, you lift the entire space beyond you in the measure that you think you're protected from switching up. Does that make sense? Fannie Lou wasn't worried about the fact that she had a third or fifth or sixth grade education and was picking cotton. She went in there, she what? She spoke the truth in front of congressmen and legislature. You know what I mean? So if we could ever just be brave enough to be authentically ourselves in spaces where we think we need to put our inner sister girl away, we could also start to then create the comfortability.
We have some more young people back there. Do y'all have anything to say?
Because your voice does matter, you know, it doesn't matter how, you know, your age, your gender, you know, your religion, your voice matters. And, you know, that's something that we try and instill in our young people as well, and adults, that your voice does matter. You have a voice, and it's important to, like you said, have that courage. And I think about Congressman John Lewis, you know, he talks about getting in trouble, right, but the good trouble. So, you know, that's something that, you know, we got to continue to struggle, continue to fight. But he left that message at the end about telling the young people, too, your voice matters. So I just wanted to share that.
I wanna circle back to what you said, like about the code switching and that giving fuel to determine who we are as people and who we truly are. And I think that sometimes we can get to the point where we're code switching, like where we don't need a code switch. Or in sense, like my job, I started about 2 weeks ago, 2, maybe 3. And I go door to door knocking, selling a couple of different things, right? And there's a certain of professionalism that I go and authenticity that I bring to the door. Because I'm gonna be myself when I go to the door, and I'm gonna leave with a God bless you and have a blessed day, because that's who I am. But that doesn't mean that when I do that and then I go hang out with my friends, I'm just gonna sit and just keep cussing in each other's faces and think that that's right. That's not right. And I think that as what other black people see online and what they see in anywhere, like when we like continue to pass on consistent habits of whether it's our language, our style, and stuff like that, that portrays to everybody else a negative way, and they add a negative thing onto it. But when we change and we don't do or don't wear the clothes they expect us to wear, or don't talk the way they expect us to talk, then they think there's something wrong. So we always have to be ourselves, and our culture, all the way back, it's like we're respectful, we're kind, we're clean, we're not dirty, we don't talk with a nasty mouth to everybody. So it's like, when we think about the roots of everything, like when I went to Ghana about 6 years ago, and people think that Ghana is dirty, whatever, Them people have the whitest teeth you'll ever see. The whitest teeth you'll ever
They don't
see.
have Snicker bars.
True, but they'll have the whitest teeth you'll ever see, and it's like there's a certain amount of respect that we have for ourselves, and when we respect ourselves by whether it's the clothes that we wear or the way that we talk, it just seems different to everybody else, and we have to continue to be that way because we are clean, we are dirty, and we don't have to be the people that everybody else thinks that we're supposed to be.
Thank you for that. I love that.
This is what I want. I want this. Yeah. I want the exchange. I like this because one of the things you're going to do is you're going to see is the development of your tomorrows. This is what I kind of wanted to do this too, because we don't know what your tomorrow is going to look like until we put some people in front of you. One. He knows. But that's the idea. That if you know, you know. And if you're there that supports somebody, you do it. Sometimes you push them, they don't even know they're getting pushed, but the opportunity to do some things on different levels is there, but we don't know it until we push people to be there. And that's one of the things that my own thing, I'm gonna say it out loud, but it's my own thing where it comes from people that manage great, but they're not leaders. Leaders take you to another place. They lead you somewhere. They don't manage where you're already at. Where you're already at is where you've been. Where you want to go is who you want to lead you to. And sometimes we need a leader to take us there even when we're reluctant to go because we don't even know we need to be there. But the leader does. And that's why the conversations are had and people are energetic and get behind certain leaders because they're seeing things that they haven't seen. And we need to push those people to the forefront. And they're usually young. Whether it's a Tupac, a Biggie, a Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, everybody was young. Before they was 50, they was dead. But the energy of the people that we have in front of us are the ones that we need to propel and push forward. So that's my spiel on that one. But I got one more question before they tell me to wrap up. And sorry. At 7 o'clock, down the block, 326 Canvas, you guys can go down there and hang out. That's another opportunity to keep going with the activations that are going on today. All right. Coffee cup, there you go, see? This is a shorter question. Frederick Douglass said, if there's no struggle, there's no progress. What does that mean to you personally? And what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? And I'll stop with there because there's pieces on this because the idea is that we start and then we continue and build. So I want y'all to kind of build, but we'll start with the first part of it. What does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, to me personally, it's a shame that we're going forward and back. The progress is regressing. So looking at society, looking at the boldness of the racism, things that we're seeing today that I could have never imagined in a million years that we would see. So that struggle and thinking about progress, it's so much regress before we can progress. And it's like you take a couple steps forward and you're thinking how many years ago that was. It was yesterday. My mother's 83. She went through segregation. So to think that we progressed, but in her lifetime, to see a black president, but now see so much hate and racism coming back out, it's a fight that we have to fight. We have to keep teaching our children. Like my sister said over here, we gotta keep talking in that circle, working in white America and thinking about being the only black person in the room and, having conversations and dialogue with people at the lunch table. And you're like, I can't believe an individual can think like that, but your son-in-law is Haitian. Like, you're okay with how the immigration process is going in the community, but such could be your son-in-law. So it's just so complicated and complex. But when you're thinking about a legacy, you think about, my pastor told me before that if you have 3 generations of people in faith, or 3 generations of a family-owned business, that's a legacy. So in my life, it's definitely my faith. But teaching my kids about the history, and sadly to see it kind of trying to repeat itself in so many ways, the legacy of education, teaching them about the history, that's not the same in school anymore.
Yeah.
But just trying to leave that mark and teaching my grandkids who are here with me, the same thing, like how it happened before and how hard we gotta work to get to the next level. And the education, again, is so very important. You have to know your history to know where you came from.
Yeah.
And I tell my children all the time, and now even to the grandkids, we are strong. We were strong before they pulled black people from Africa. We were bright, brilliant kings, queens, princesses, landowners, lineage of wealth. Then you look at your family history. I have that here. You have wealth, you have lineage of history. So much that my family has built, developed, and grown from not owning a home to 3 generations of owning a home. So there's legacy, there's growth, there's education. There's so much we can leave our kids, but it's just disheartening that my mother saw the first black president. She came out of the civil rights era, and now she's witnessing and seeing all of this hate and racism resurfacing.
Yeah.
It's just, we know it's already there,
Yeah.
but the blatant, so.
It's called the second lost cause, so to speak, because the lost cause was the first Civil War. Second was Reconstruction, and where we're going now is like, are we going for another? The lost cause of the white supremacists trying to get the insurrectionist type of thing going, where we know that's a lost cause. It's not going to work, but we're going through it again after 2 times of doing it. So that's exactly your point. How much of a legacy are we continuing? The legacy of 200, now we got to go back, another lost cause. Another time we go forward, another lost cause. So that's the idea, and that's why we kind of do this, to give history the context that it needs for today, so you understand what it is, because a lot of the dilution of what you know is going to continue. They're banning books. They're banning who you can have on the campus. You can't do this. You can't. And then the educational tree starts from the beginning, your roots, the people we had food from today. It's called roots, because that's where you're ingrained and started from, the roots. So we need to kind of feed our roots. The young people, I love that they got a chance to speak. You still got a chance to speak if any one of you guys want to say anything. But just to have any opportunity, but some people would shut you out the room. You wouldn't even be in the room to speak. We need you in these rooms to speak, because we need you guys to kind of champion what we don't know. The technology stuff that you guys are underway with when y'all come out the womb is crazy. Y'all are really advantaged way past we are. And some of the things you're going to develop we don't even know yet. But we want y'all grounded, so that way you have roots, so that way whatever you do know, you know your legacy and the ways you can connect to people. So that's a thing too. All right.
What code switching means?
Code switching?
So,
Go ahead.
It's exhausting, I'll tell you that much.
It's how you have to be one way in your.
And she said, I think that's
Young people in the room that may
Might not know what it
code
means.
switching is.
Okay.
So I would like that,
Well, the idea of code switching, for those that don't know, is that people present themselves in one way when you're at your house, and then you go to work and you present yourself another kind of way to appear that you're that way at your job. And it's just the opportunity to know how to switch that button. Go ahead.
Let me give you an example, okay?
No.
And then I'm at work, and it's like,
You're live.
So like, I just switched because I'm putting on my professional voice as opposed to, hey, hey, everybody, how you doing? So that's kind of like how some people look at it, but
Or
I
you
don't
do
do it
it to
intentionally,
yourself.
I'm just.
Or you're not showing up as your authentic
Or
self,
you feel like you
know,
have
'cause they
to
don't
be,
fit in, to
to go
belong.
into like the hair thing, we felt our hair to straight, to speak a certain way.
How we dress, how you, yeah, all of that.
Right,
Right. I used to, my mother, when I used to call her at work, I used to call mother at work, oh, you got your white girl voice on today.
No, it's just my professional voice.
Right.
That's my bad, like, you know.
I stopped doing that. Listen,
It's just how I answer the phone, cause at home I'm like, hello, you know, and then at work I'm like, hi, it's Michelle, I can help you, like, it's just, you know,
But
but
some
people look
people-
at that and say that
Right.
the code switching, but I'm like, no,
Exactly,
it's my
but
professional
some
voice.
people literally do code switch, and you know, if you go to an organization, they say, oh, we want you to show up as yourself, come be yourself, you know, but do we really mean that? You know, do we really mean come be yourself? Because then you're being judged with your hair, or your clothes, or whatever, so not being able to come and be your authentic self is code switching, period. If you can't show up and be yourself, talk the way you talk, right? Dress or your hair, you know, whatever, it's, you know, and it's exhausting. I've been there, and you don't want to be there. You don't want to show up and not be people do it to try and fit in, no.
Right.
That is out the window, but it is a true thing that people struggle with, but be your authentic self, by all means.
You're trying to like.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're gonna have to wrap up because they have to clean up and then get their stuff to the next place. And there's some vendors that were here that have to clean up and get their stuff to their vehicles and go into their next, whatever's the next. But what I wanted to do is thank you guys for being a part of this. I don't want y'all to leave just yet because I wanted each of them to talk about if you got something going on or coming up or something that you did that you want to share with the people that are here.
I'll go.
Good.
So I hosted a youth event at my church, and that's been really big for me because no matter any storm I'm going through, I know to point everybody towards God because He's the one that saved me from everything that I've gone through. So even in my pain and even in when I'm blinding myself, I'm still trying to point somebody to that. So knowing the people that I know and knowing that they may not be in church consistently or whatever, like trying to point them towards that or bring them to church or invite them to church and say, hey, oh, I can't come, I'm going to church. You want to come? Like, that's been the biggest thing for me. Started a new job, been working weird hours, because door-to-door knocking, I know some of y'all don't like them, but we trying to help y'all. But it's from,
You see me when I knock on your door?
it's some weird hours, so I started at going to Fitchburg State to study accounting and marketing, and I hope to own a couple of businesses
That's what's up.
that support us. But the thing is, when we open businesses and like black-owned businesses, like they often don't get a lot of attention. And the thing about it is, when we open those businesses and then we want to like conform to the way everybody else is doing business and trying to be successful, that's not how we do it. Like, we can't do it that way. We got to do it for each other. It's not always about the money. Like, yes, we want to grow the business and be more popular and get it at all the ears, but if we're not growing it in the community and the community don't know what it is, then we're going to show everybody else a different thing that's not why we started. But that's what I hope to do in the future.
Toss.
I don't have anything.
Leona.
Just want to remind folks that we are doing this again. No, we have Juneteenth celebration tomorrow down at the Riverfront Park. Our co-chair and founder, Pastor Annie, Reverend Annie Belmer's here. And so yes, come out tomorrow from 12 to 3. Obviously, it's free. There'll be music. Simply Whitney is our featuring artist. So there'll be a band. We had her a couple years ago. Theo's actually playing in the band with her. But in the beginning, we'll have, some welcoming from our mayor, our chief of police. We'll have a young person that'll, what is Juneteenth. And then the music starts, we'll have some dancers. The music starts shortly after that. And then we'll have some local entertainment. and free popcorn, hot dogs, you know, ices.
Soccer.
There'll be soccer, yes, there'll be some soccer set up with a net and the World Cup, you know, book with stickers, all the countries. So come on, have some fun, 12 to 3. Please come up, join us. It'll be fun.
Sunflower.
Hello everyone, my name is Abida. I go by Sunflower Dilla. As you can see, I love sunflowers. I love sunflowers because I share that love with my mother, who is my guardian angel now. So, events coming up. Oh, by the way, I have a table downstairs. I am a creative partner to Gems and Jewels, who's also my sister, my best friend. And we do events. So the next event we have is June 24th, is that it? Yes, in Roxbury. We have like a bi-weekly open mic where we do like little things. We have a raffle. You get a free empanada when you get your ticket. It's a nice place. Like they have a restaurant, a bar, and we're trying to make it a nice place for community to come and just come together. So we do that bi-weekly. So 24th is one. We also work with Boston Black Pride. So we're doing an open mic July 2nd at the same bar, which is Norvia's Fort Hill Bar and Grill in Roxbury. So that's pretty much the events we have coming up.
All right. Oh, guess,
Oh, thanks. Hi, everyone. This one, stand up. I'm Sally Cragen. I'm a city councilor at large in Fitchburg. It's nice to see familiar faces and folks that I know. This is really powerful, and I'm really glad that you're moving forward on the playwriting. And that was really hard stuff, I think, for all of us to hear, and especially for the younger folks. It's kind of amazing that we are doing something we weren't doing 5 years ago, right? Right, we've come a really long way. So I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. And from 2 to 6 at South Street Cemetery, we have Revolutionary Paint Out. If you know anyone who likes art, craft, we'll have painters painting. We will have art supplies. You can come and do gravestone rubbing on 2 of the 18th century gravestones. And this is really just to commemorate our country's 250th. But there's a beautiful piece of writing, Cedric. Very
thank
good.
you.
Which graveyard?
South Street Cemetery. So Park on Payson, the one right up South Street on the left, the old colonial.
Oh,
I'll
I
bring
know
the
the one
flyers
you're
tomorrow.
talking about. I drive by it all the time. Okay, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's big and working.
No, that's Laurel Hill. No, this is at the bottom of South Street.
This is the other one, the
Yeah.
smaller one, okay.
Yeah, so if you're going, if Market Basket is behind you and you take a left on South Street, there, take a left on Payson, and it's the old one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they were
It's-
connected, okay.
They're no, Laurel, we've done things at Laurel Hill, but it's a hard walk. I will have flyers tomorrow, and I don't have them today, but I'll have them tomorrow. Thank you for what everyone is doing.
Yep.
It's so great.
Thank you,
All
Sally.
right. The only thing we have, we had probably got some things coming. We got some things coming up, but the most recent thing that I can think of telling you, we just received a grant to do our Hip Hop Health Summit. So the Hip Hop Health Summit is a panel discussion, how does hip hop affect opioid use? So we're going to do that, and Derek left, but we're going to do that with the Canvas Corp cats at Canvas Corp, 326 Main Street. Is going to be the first one we do. And then we're looking to do some more. I'm trying to get some more matching money. And we're looking to do some things.
Nice.
Yeah. But the idea is that it's there. We got it. We're going to put something together. They're going to help me with the artists. Some other people said they're going to help me with marketing. And we're going to try to pack the place and get as many people in there. We want you guys there too. We want young people in there. We want you guys in there because that's you need to know. You guys really need to know. And then we need to hear from you. How does things that you listen to affect what you do? We talk about hip hop, but I don't know what else you listen to. But all of that stuff is in your ears. I don't care if it's what's the movie, Vikings, or one of those movies on Netflix or whatever. All of those things are things that can affect what you, the way you move. And if you don't have nobody to share that stuff with, you might move incorrectly, and somebody could have schooled you, and you didn't have to make that step, and that decision couldn't now be something that you could regret, and you don't have to if we could tell you. But we need to hear from you. So this is a good point. I'm glad you young people stepped up and had a chance to speak. And I'm going to leave. Oh, you got somebody else got something to say before I wrap up? All right. So thank you guys. Y'all have a great evening. 7 p.m. 326 Main Street, down the block. You can go hang out and party. All right, thank you guys.